Well, I think the bottom line was my mom kind of definitely planned the wedding more so as if it was hers than it was yours.
Just to get into the parent rift just a little bit, one question I've always had is, when did it start? And when we were speaking with Moriah and Micah a few weeks ago, we talked a little bit about your wedding and how things kind of started and stemmed from that. Do you guys agree? Was it the wedding? Was there one thing that kind of started all this?
It was before the wedding.
Yeah,
the wedding is when it like publicly became known that like it is not okay and everyone noticed, but it started way before that. It actually, okay, so when we were dating, I knew that I was being controlled in what we were allowed to do, what we were allowed to say. Like, I knew that, but I was also so used to that from my childhood that I just kind of like let him make a bunch of decisions for me. And I remember like the night that it clicked for me was the night we got engaged. And we come in the door, she waited up for us, and she like grabbed my hand and looked at the ring. And the first thing she said was, "Oh, I want to trade rings with you." And I was like, okay, that's really weird. And then she was like, "Oh, we're also going to sit down tomorrow and have a wedding planning meeting." And she like sat the whole family down, and like in that meeting, like basically told me what we were going to be doing. And that was the moment where I was like, I don't want to be controlled like this. Like, yeah. I never got to tell my mom that I was engaged before she posted it online. That's how my mom found out. And so like, that was when stuff just, I was like, I'm not going to be walked on. I don't want to deal with this. But every time I tried to stand up for myself, it created more drama. And so like the whole engagement was really rocky because of that.
Yeah. Well, I think the bottom line was my mom kind of definitely planned the wedding more so as if it was hers than it was yours. It was kind of had much more of that tendency, and that just kind of, it rubs a lot of people, like your friends and your family and stuff like that, the wrong way. It just wasn't quite right. But then coming back from that after our honeymoon and all that stuff, that's kind of like trying to discuss it and sort it out, and then it didn't go well, and it just kind of went down.
Yeah, everything kind of escalated. At the end of the day, it was just like a pattern that she tried to make a lot of decisions for me. And I was fresh, like out of my parents' house and figuring out who I was, and I didn't want decisions made for me. And the wedding was where a lot of that culminated, but it was just across the board. I didn't want her to make decisions for me, and that created a whole bunch of tension. That eventually just blew up and got to the point that we were unable to have a relationship.
Well, and where it got real bad was when we were unable to really resolve the differences over what happened during the wedding. Then that's when the thing with my siblings came in, where my dad and my mom told me that me and you could not see my siblings until we were on good terms or resolved our issues with my parents.
Until I got my spirits cast out.
You know, it's just kind of, that's where it's sat ever since then, unfortunately.
Do you think there's any double standard where like Moriah and Micah moved out, but they're welcome back? You know, Max and Moriah clearly have a relationship out, you know, without their getting their mother's approval first, but they're welcome back. Do you find that there's a double standard?
Yes and no. I think when I met the Plaths, when Ethan and I started dating, they still had like the whole, we're family unity harmony, the whole family's together, like we're all happy. And it wasn't true, it was a facade. But when Ethan and I got married, it kind of really broke the mold. And I think we took a lot of flack for that. And then once everything became public and the show started and like family dynamics were aired, I think Barry and Kim were being very careful with Mike and Moriah so that the same thing doesn't happen to them as it does Ethan. And they definitely like play nice with them. And I think there are some areas that they've changed. So I don't know if it's as much a double standard as it is we took the flack for being the first ones. And, you know, obviously Mike and Moriah have, you know, issues with their parents that they've kind of put aside and decided that they want to see their siblings and they want that relationship right now. And I think, again, Barry and Kim aren't going to say as much to Mike and Moriah and Max as they would to us, since they've already been through, you know, the no contact relationship with us. That's my opinion. I don't know what you think.
I would say that pretty much walks the line. That's it, right?
What would need to happen for you guys to repair that rift?
Well, I personally just think a lot of time and some some real estate, some miles between us, because it started out where, you know, I bought a house in town. They lived at the farm where I grew up. It was about 15 minutes away. And then they moved just right across the street from me. And that definitely did not go over well. So it just, I think, first off, we just need some space and time.
I think in my head, I am not fixating on what would fix this, how could this change, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that I did everything in my power to fix it, and I couldn't unless I changed who I was. And so I think I've honestly just accepted that it wasn't a good relationship for me, and I want to move on. Mm-hmm. And if I ever change my mind in the future and I want a relationship with them, I'll let them know. But for right now, I'm just excited to like move and build a life with Ethan and figure out who I am and what I want in my life, and that I want all of my energy to go there. Mm-hmm. And if they ever came to us and apologized, and, you know, I decided it was okay to have a relationship, then I'd revisit it. But for right now, I think we're both happy to move on.